Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to do the poem An Old Woman by Arun Kolatkar. Let me read the poem before analyzing it. An old woman grabs hold of your sleeve and tags along. She wants a 50 paise coin. She says she will take you to the horseshoes shrine. You have seen it already. She hobbles along anyway and tightens her grip on your shirt. She won't let you go. You know how these old women are? They stick to you like a burr. You turn around and face her with an air of finality. You want to end the farce. When you hear her say, "What else can an old woman do on hills as wretched as these?" You look right at the sky, clean through the bullet holes she has for her eyes, and you look on the cracks that begin around her eyes, spread beyond her skin, and the hills crack, and the temples crack, and the sky falls with a plateless glass clatter around the shatterproof crone who stands alone. Arun Kolatkar was born on November 1st, 1932, died in September 2004. He was a poet from Maharashtra, writing both in Marathi and English. His poems found humor in many everyday matters. His poetry had an influence on modern Marathi poets. His first book of English poetry, Jejuri, is a collection of 31 poems pertaining to a visit of his to a religious place with the same name, Jejuri, in Maharashtra. The book won Commonwealth Writers' Prize in 1977. His Marathi verse collection, Bijki Wahi, won a Sahitya Academy Award in 2005. His collected poems in English, edited by Arvind Krishna Mehrotra, was published in Britain by Bloodaxe Books in 2010. In Arun Kolatkar's poem An Old Woman, the main theme is about keeping what is important in perspective, in case an old woman and her heritage, the land from which she comes. An old woman clutches a tourist's sleeve and tags along with him. She wants a 50 paise coin. For this, she offers to show him the horseshoe shrine. This refers to a legend centered around a horseshoe shaped depression in a rock about Khandoba, the presiding deity at Jejuri, who leaped from that rock onto his horse as he carried his wife with him. This is a legend that the true believer reveres and the skeptic doubts. The tourist moves away as he has seen the shrine already. The old woman tightens her grip and hobbles along, not giving up so easily. She is persistent. She clings to him like a burr. A prickly seed burr is a prickly seed pod that clings to clothes. Irritated by this persistence, the tourist decides to face her with an air of finality, and he decides that he will not yield to her and thereby wants to put an end to the farce. He presumes that his no nonsense reaction will deter her, but the old woman's matter of fact question, "What else could an old woman do to survive on these wretched hills?" strikes the narrator like a thunderbolt. The stark reality that hits the narrator allows him to see her at closer quarters. When he turns to look at her face, he is shocked. There are two deep sunken eyes that look like bullet holes. Her skin is wrinkled and cracks begin to appear around her eyes and spread beyond her skin. He feels that everything is falling apart, everything is cracked and in ruins. The cracks spread beyond her skin to the hills and the sky. There is a catastrophe. The hills crack, the temples crack, and the sky falls and shatters like a sheet of glass. But the old woman stands there as a symbol of all round degradation. The narrator feels ashamed. He is reduced to the small change in her hand. In a moment of realization, the narrator or the tourist finds himself reduced in his self esteem. His awakening to the real world makes him feel small, as insignificant as the small coin he gave the old woman. Let me paraphrase the poem for the benefit of the students. In the lines 1 to 3, an old beggar woman grabs hold of the poet's sleeve. She does not leave it. She wants a 50 paise coin. She promises to take the poet to the shrine, the horseshoe shrine, in the lines 4 to 6. The poet has already seen the horseshoe shrine. The old beggar woman walks awkwardly wherever the poet moves. She has tightened her grip on his shirt in lines 7 to 9. The old beggar woman won't let the poet go until she gets a 50 paise coin. The poet knows that the women, old women beggars stick to you like a burr in lines 10 to 12. The poet turns around and faces the old woman beggar to finally get rid of her and end her ridiculous farce or acting in lines 13 to 15. When the poet looked at the woman beggar, she said, pointing to the barren hills before her, "What else can an old woman do on hills as wretched as these?" in lines 16 to 18. The poet is deeply affected when he looks at the old beggar woman. He looks up at the sky. He looks at the old beggar woman. She has very small eyes sunken deep, looking like two bullet holes. As he looks in lines 19 to 21. As he looks at her, he learns that the woman is very old. The cracks that begin around her eyes spread beyond her skin. She is a very old woman, very pitiable, in lines 22 to 24. The poet is full of pity for the old woman beggar. He feels uneasy. The temples there do not arouse any godly feeling in him. He feels that the hills and the temples too have cracks. The sky seems to fall with a clattering sound around the old beggar woman who has no respect or love for anything there in lines 25 to 29. The poet feels that he too himself has been reduced to small value. He loses his self esteem and he feels that his value is no more than a few coins in the beggar woman's hands. This much for today. Thank you.